for tablet at KFMA.com. You want it? You got it. Reality radio done right. No nonsense, real and raw, just like you like it.
He's corrupt, he's inexperienced, and he lies.
Broadcasting from a broom closet in the Arizona Lotus Studios, it's Beef Vegan Presents.
Yo, welcome back to the show. It's BVP Presents live on Rock 102.1 KFMA, streaming worldwide at KFMA.com on this beautiful Monday, July 31st. Good morning, Weirdo.
Good morning.
Good morning, Tucson. Hopefully you guys have everything up and running this Monday morning. I know a lot of you had no power for a limited time. For some of you, a lot longer than a limited time. Oh, man, it was crazy.
Of course, I leave town and then the big storm hit.
Yeah, and when it hit, it literally came out of nowhere. And there's so many great shots of from on top of a mountain. I know you've probably seen some viral videos, some time release videos of the storm coming in and then just opening up and dumping a bunch of hail on us. And again, it felt like you were in the middle of a hurricane.
Yeah.
And it was quick. It was rapid. Here's how quick it was. I was at Royal Kia doing a car remote, right? We're slanging Kias from 4 to 6 in the afternoon. 6 rolls around. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm, going to take off and sweat my ass off in this parking lot for far too long. And I'm right down the road, right? A minute away. So I drive home. I get in the car. I sit down on the couch. I'm cooling down for a second. Next thing you know, it sounds like somebody's banging on my door, like the SWAT team's there. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? And I look up and it's sideways hail just beating the hell out of my door and the house. And this is how it was for everywhere. The next day, it literally looked like, we had a catastrophic, hurricane level 5 go through Midtown.
Yeah, I was on my Facebook and scrolled down and saw somebody post the screenshot of everywhere that was out of power. And I was like, well, I should probably check in with who's house sitting. My niece is house sitting for us. And she's like, minimal damage, but that was crazy. She lost power for an hour at our house.
I was fortunate enough not to lose power at all, but over 50,000 people lost power, 56,000 actually. And, some of those didn't have power until Sunday morning. So, it was a Friday afternoon or Friday night that it happened.
Right.
So just imagine that. And that's brutal. And not only that, there was businesses in town, the Sprouts right down the road on Speedway. Their power went out. So I normally, because I've been on this bachelor diet, right? So, my daughter's vegan and I'm, by myself right now. So I'm not making dinners. So I'll go and I'll get those one pans from Sprouts. Everything was cleared out because everything essentially went bad because the power went out. So,
so not good.
Yeah. So they're restocking. I know my daughter's work, the vegan market, their power went out as well. They had to do a bunch of stuff. So it affected a lot of businesses and affected, obviously, just people trying to beat the heat this weekend.
Yeah. I mean, we rolled back into town at noon on Sunday, and I'm like, God, it looks like a bomb went off.
I know.
So much damage and debris.
Oh, you got to love Tucson. It's all that damage happened. We'll get to cleaning it up here eventually. Whatever. Maybe we'll just live with it. Maybe, the tourists could come in the summertime and think, hey, we just time warped into a post-apocalyptic land. That's...
Yes, please leave.
Yeah,
don't come back.
Put that on a postcard. You went up north this weekend to Flagstaff and Camp Verde and whatnot, but didn't you get hit with the storm up there as well?
Yes, we checked the weather because we try to be so prepared, and it just poured, and there was hail for us. Two of my partners, they abandoned camp a night early, got back Saturday night about midnight. We were at the concert up in Flagstaff, and it was gorgeous.
Yeah.
But that venue was not prepared for a sold-out show.
Oh, we're not here to bitch about venues. This is how they always are.
Right, but it was really good. I've never been to Pepsi Amphitheater before. Nice little venue. It's so chill up there. It kind of looks like a church camp, though, the property.
No, I know. I love the Pepsi Amphitheater. So did you see Motionless in White?
Yes.
Okay, so how was it? Did you get to see the entire set of Motionless in White? And then that's the only band that you got to see?
No, got to see Motionless in White. And then In This Moment closed the show out. Chris Motionless did thank fans from Tucson for coming up since, he was not able to perform in December. Yeah, he did acknowledge that. And there was actually a lot of people that drove out from Albuquerque and Vegas for this show, too.
Well, Albuquerque, both those, it doesn't surprise me at all. It's really not that long of a drive.
Right.
In fact, actually, might even be shorter from their location than Tucson to Flagstaff. So, yeah, that's good that he remembered and didn't let fans didn't let him forget, I should say. But the setup on the stage, did they have enough room on the stage to make it a big theatrical
They
kind of
did,
performance?
yeah. In this moment, still did their theatrics. She ends up on like a podium for Whore. Their biggest song, they always close with that, which was really good.
Yeah.
But in this, Motionless in White, man, they had the crowd going. I actually think that they should have closed out the show.
Yeah.
Momentum kind of stopped because it was about 40 minutes between Motionless and In This Moment.
Well, that's kind of dumb. But,
yeah.
With that smaller stage and stuff, I could understand doing a turnaround. It's going to slow down. Okay, well, that's great. Did you take a bunch of pictures and video?
I did.
Are you getting posted?
Of course I will.
All right, good. So keep an eye on that. We're going to be sharing that today, too, just in case you couldn't go all the way up to Flagstaff to check out that fantastic show. You could vicariously live through Weirdo. Now, speaking of fantastic shows, our listener bait this week, 2 shows here. First and foremost, the Saliva and Drowning Pool show at Club Encore. That's going to be a banger. So we'll have tickets giveaway for that. Also, Ricky Ratman. Once I'm trying to get in studio, Ricky Ratman, essentially ushered in the headbanger age. He was Matt Pinfield before Matt Pinfield took his job.
Yep.
And honestly, he was in the mix during the heyday of hair metal. Since then, he's been like a NASCAR contributor and, just an all-around media guy. Well, he released an autobiography as a one-man show talking about the exploits of his life. And I guarantee you those are pretty fun stories. And not only is he performing at the Rialto Theater, which we'll give tickets away for, I want to get him in studio to just ask more because, the fact that he can remember some of this stuff. I mean, essentially, he was like a line of cocaine in Motley Crue's dressing room. That's how close he was to the action. So we're going to be giving away tickets to Ricky Ratman a little bit later on. Of course, 8:10 this morning, I'm going to give you the signature heating and cooling song of the day that you're listening for that summer fun promotion we're doing. This week, we're giving away, what are we giving away? It says, a week in New Mexico, hot air balloon sightseeing trip. If that doesn't sound appealing, $3,000 cash.
Right.
How about that? I mean, we had all these fantastic trips, and they're like, "Hey, you're gonna get to go to Nebraska." Like, that's awesome. Just give me money and shut up.
Right.
All right. So all that more is reason to stick around this morning. Got your morning moron coming up after Highly Suspect. Let's kick things off with Stained. Let's go. I wasn't necessarily a fan of my my let's go this morning, but what are you gonna do? Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mari. Welcome, Mari. And what's up, Held Out? I see you. 10. Good to see you on the stream as well. I'm playing Held Out today for the single song takeover.
Nice.
Yeah, because they're going to be headlining at the Rialto Theater on Saturday night, which I'll probably be at as well. So I look forward to that. I got invited by Jonathan Russell yesterday to be a part of their Danger Zone music video. Yeah, but unfortunately got pushed back in time and I just couldn't make it happen. It also sounded like miserable, to be honest with you, because it's going to be at the air park at like 2:30 and 1:30 to 2:30 in the afternoon. It's hot and humid. It's like I didn't even want to be outside, but fortunately and unfortunately, I had to pick up my daughter, so it conflicted with that. But maybe I'll be in the Danger Zone music video from As the World Burns, because that song's fantastic as well. So. Good morning, Mari. As far as this hailstorm, and Mari was like, we're going to talk about the hailstorm, which we did in the show open. I did see a comment from our Swedish streamer on Twitch. For really, they said the hailstorms made the news over here in Sweden.
Wow.
Yeah, dude.
Well, because it's ironic. Nobody thinks that like hailstorms are going to happen in the summer in the desert, and they do.
Well, it was just intense. So, like, my yard was destroyed. Well, not super destroyed. Like, my mom's yard was really destroyed. Like, there's this farm, I guess, out in Marana. Like, they lost a kangaroo. Like,
they lost a kangaroo.
Hold on, I don't care about the hail anymore. Like, tell me about this kangaroo.
I've been to this. It's called Funnyfoot Farm now. It's called Ghost Ranch Farm. Out to Marana. They're awesome. But, yeah, I guess like they got devastated by the winds, like insanely devastated. And they lost a kangaroo and another animal.
Dude, yeah, that's not died
no,
or
like,
it escaped. Okay,
yeah,
so somewhere in Marana, there's a kangaroo running around.
Yeah, the only thing I think that passed was like a couple of small birds or. but still, it's a bummer.
It did come out of nowhere, and I did, I was like a basic bitch this weekend, and all different fronts. I did post a bunch of storm videos and pictures on my Instagram, and one of the captions I posted on Instagram with this hailstorm, I was like, this literally came out of nowhere, and then Shmonty commented or messaged me, and what he wrote, I shared on my stories as well, but I want to just quote him exactly. He said, it came out of the sky. Stupid. Yeah. So no, I said, well, this literally came out of nowhere. And he said, no, it came out of the sky, stupid. So that's the name of today's podcast as well.
Yeah. So I just looked it up. They're missing a kangaroo, a capybara, and 2 African crested porcupines.
Wow, 4.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. We're actually going to be on the air here in about 15 seconds. And that's what we could talk about in our teas before we get into the top 5. I think people need to know to keep a lookout for these animals in the Marina area.
And support the farm too, because they're like really
right. I'm looking at this photo and it's just leveled.
Yeah, and like they just
Rock on 2.1 KFMA. Welcome back, Beef Vegan Presents. We're live on the podcast broadcast. Mari's joining us. Good morning, Mari.
Good morning.
And you told us about the formerly Funnyfoot Farm. What's the name of the place now?
Ghost Ranch Farm.
Ghost Ranch Farm. And I knew of Funnyfoot Farms and the owners and proprietors there because of the capybaras that they have. And they're always cool to see. But apparently the hailstorm hit them hard and now they're missing animals.
Yeah.
So what's the deal with this?
Well, yeah, I mean, the winds were just insane. If you experience the winds, I guess they're like tornado.
Right.
Winds.
So what animals are missing, weirdo? Well,
all right.
The people in Miranda need to know to look in their backyards for capybaras and
a kangaroo, a capybara, and 2 porcupines.
We say capybara around here. Okay, we're
Capybara?
a little fancy.
Okay.
No, capybara.
Bara.
Like
Okay.
when I went to San Diego. You gotta have a little bit of like swagger on it. All right, say those animals again. I was too focused on capybara.
Kangaroo, capybara,
There you go.
and 2 porcupines.
Wow, that's crazy. I mean, we already live in the desert, so we're always like, going to be expecting weird animal life just popping up here and there.
Right.
Usually it's a javelina,
Right.
but to see some porcupines and a kangaroo,
Yeah.
catch that kangaroo. If you've seen the kangaroo out there in Miranda, make sure you take pictures of it and send it to Rock 102.1 KFMA, and then also call authorities afterwards.
Right.
Yeah.
And let him go back home.
It's so amazing.
Do
So
not keep it. Do not try to box it. You will lose.
Yeah. All right. Well, as far as we know, as of right now, those are the 4 animals that are currently on the loose. So please keep an eye out for the farm. They'll definitely need that. But that's just more further repercussions of that massive hailstorm that came through. And we actually have a streamer on Twitch who watches the podcast broadcast every now and then, and they let us know that they actually heard about this hailstorm in Sweden. So congratulations to you, son. We're famous. Yeah, made international news on that. All right, we got Kaleo's Way Down We Go, and then your TMI Top 5 coming up right after this, but we'll keep the conversation moving. YouTube.com/beefvegan. Yeah, that's crazy.
I know.
They'll let us know about those capybaras and kangaroos. And so essentially when that storm came down, it knocked over a fence or something, right?
Oh no, all offenses.
All
Really. Like
offenses.
there's a ton of damage. It's like pretty crazy, like the amount of damage. And reading their post about it, I would just get really bummed because like they just like built it and they spent so much time trying to find this new location and like poured so much like sweat and love into it, and then so
like all the holding cages and stuff like that are all busted up.
I guess it took an entire aviary and like moved it feet away. Like it picked it up off the ground and like moved it far.
See, that is intense. I mean, I do like when I was looking at this storm, when it was coming down in its peak and I'm in Midtown, it did remind me of a hurricane or a tornado. The winds were that extreme and that hardcore. And I mean, there was trees and everything being uprooted all over the place. There's tons of videos showing that. And of course, the water, this city can't deal with that. They never built this city for water. Manny said, dude, how exciting would it be to track a kangaroo? Why not end up having to box it? Dude, you would get fucked up so bad. You would look like Spence after that. There was a Crawford versus Spence was the big boxing match this weekend. And was it Trevor Crawford? I want to say his name is. Now, I apologize because I was late to the party on the boxing. It kind of goes under my radar until you get to a point where it's historic moments And Crawford, essentially, you're gonna have to get familiar with his name because he is like one of the greats and did one of the all-time greatest like showings in professional boxing history, and now is the undisputed like welterweight champion. And he was actually escorted to the ring by Eminem, which was awkward and weird in its own right. Because Eminem came out and he gave the introduction, give it up for the motherfucking Crawford, whatever, to Lose Yourself, right? And then Lose Yourself starts playing the track, but he doesn't sing along or anything. For a second, he just stands to the side until Crawford's ready to go to the ring, and then he signals to Eminem, like, all right, let's go. And then so Eminem's like literally walking him to the ring, and then halfway there, Eminem like stops. He's like, all right, you got it from here, and kind of like taps him on the back. But you see Eminem kind of get swallowed up in the crowd, and it was just, like I said, it was awkward. I'll pull it up on my X account.
Oh, God.
I know, because Musk changed everything on this. Let's see.
So dumb.
I know. All right. Terrence Crawford. And I apologize. Here, you know what? Let me show you something real quick. Terrence Crawford, who's pretty badass. This is what he had to say about the media. And I shared this because I can relate to this. And we're going to have a little bit of dead air on the FM side. And honestly, I don't even care. Watch. This is what he said.
Do you feel like now when you look back, like, do you feel some sense of vindication that people who overlooked you for so long now, you're at the top of the heap and there's no doubt?
Well, I've been telling each and every one of y'all for years. A lot of y'all over here looking sad. Ellie, you looking like a retarded ass dude over there because you was going against me. You know what I mean? But all in all, I get to say I told y'all. Because I've been asking for these fights for years. And y'all been saying, oh, he's too small. He's going to get this. He's going to get broken. And each and every time that I step up, I proved y'all wrong.
Yeah, that's Terrence Crawford right there, who definitely proved the world wrong. Anyone who was doubting him and becoming the welterweight champion of the world, 4 different belts, 2 different weight classes, something pretty impressive. And it's showing. I mean, was it Kenzo a big boxing fan? Maury?
No, I got it mixed up with UFC.
Oh, well, no, and that happens. I mean, obviously there was big fights in UFC as well, but the boxing world, there was just a huge fight that ended up having historic implications as Terrence Crawford ended up beating out Errol Spence in a clinic in a way that was just so impressive that, even, novices like myself can watch the playback being like, holy hell, dude, like this. The amount of skill that he showcased during that bout, it ended in the 9th round, made you want to become a fan of boxing. And I feel like boxing, with the resurgence of Jake Paul stuff and all the gimmick boxing matches, is definitely starting to get more shine and getting that kind of popularity back. But that definitely is the age-old test of, are you a good combat fighter if you could box, right? I mean, there's MMA, which obviously makes you extremely talented in all different forms of combat. But with boxing, there's an art and a science to it that even the most professional or most accomplished MMA fighters can look towards and appreciate and respect, because it's not easy at all. You got to think, especially just cardio. Like MMA fights go 3 rounds or maybe 5 rounds if it's championship, but boxing, it goes all night long. Yeah. In fact, actually, that boxing match I just showcased on, it happened on Saturday night. It started last Tuesday. The 9th round is when it ended. All right, welcome back to the show. It's a podcast broadcast. On Mondays, we like to do Would You Rathers. We're going to do that in a little bit with Maury, but I got your TMI top 5 first. So here's top 5 headlines I haven't got to just yet that I wanted to share with you. First and foremost, Chick-fil-A is testing out 2 new restaurant concepts.
Okay.
One is a 4-lane drive-through with a kitchen above and a walk-up store for digital orders, right? Okay. So this is going to be the future that we're going to see. And Chick-fil-A is actually, they were the first to make changes during COVID for the drive-through lines to make it more like protocol and try to be more efficient. And then they created awnings. And then from there, they got fans. I mean, they're making their drive-through an experience that you want to just kind of go to just so you could say you went through the Chick-fil-A drive-thru, right? So they're testing this new concept that will be kind of be rolled out here in the next couple of years, that you're literally going to see 2-story Chick-fil-A's but you won't be able to eat on the top story. That's just going to be all kitchen, and you're going to drive through 4 lanes and you get your chicken on the go.
I mean, that's one way of doing it, making it very efficient.
Yeah. I don't know why that's news, but I wanted to share with you anyway.
I love chicken. I'll take it.
Okay, that's good. A bill in California would establish a driver's license for e-bikes, and it would make it so you would need to be 12 to ride one.
Really?
So,
Okay.
Why 12?
Well, I guess this has been an issue for kids under 12 and just renting out these e-bikes, jacking up like, a big bill for their parents' credit card and then just crashing them into cars.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, as kids would do. So now you got to get a driver's license for this, and I don't know about the test as well. Will that affect us? I don't know. I know
Parallel
that
park, one of those.
Right.
parallel park an e-bike. 34% of people don't realize the cereals were heavy in sugar.
Really?
Yeah, that's how dumb people are. 34% can be like, these Frosted Flakes, you telling me the frosting is sugar?
You mean to tell me Lucky Charms marshmallows are nothing but sugar? I don't understand. I thought it was chalk.
Yeah, and it just reminds me, like, how we were raised so differently than today, than today's standards, knowing that it's just like nothing but sugar and it's bad. So parents nowadays will probably look for something that has less sugar. Meanwhile, when we were growing up, not only did we buy all the cereals that had sugar, but we had a bowl of sugar in the middle that you would scoop more sugar.
I would. Legit would. I would put more sugar on top of my sugary Frosted Flakes.
Yes, and then as soon as you're done with the cereal, then you look at the bottom of it and you have all this kind of like melted sugar at the bottom that then you would then suck down.
Remember my parents are like, here, eat Cheerios. These are good for you. I'm like, no, I cannot digest this unless there's like 4 bowls of sugar on top.
Yeah, but they don't do that anymore. In 2023, we don't have bowls of sugar sitting on dining room tables across America.
Right.
But that was a thing in the 80s. And now, of course, all of our teeth fell out. And now...
Now I'm paying for the dental bill.
Yep. And finally here, this is sad news for big business. And, there's a ripple effect that is definitely going to continue to add fuel to this class separation argument that we have, right? The rich get richer, the poor get poorer. Big companies are failing. Trucking giant Yellow shut down. The 99-year-old company had 30,000 staff and 12,000 big rigs, and it ceased operations just yesterday immediately, despite getting a $700 million COVID bailout. So there's going to be people that need to answer on this. Of course, those executives are still getting their bonuses, but this started happening just like a week or two ago. There were rumblings within the company by employees noticing that their 401 wasn't getting paid anymore. Yeah, the 401k. And everything else. And so then there was videos of these workers who literally were working there for like 20, 30 years being like, what am I going to do? What are you guys doing to us? Right. And they tried to lie saying everything's fine. Everything's fine. Fast forward to just yesterday. Not everything's fine. They're 100% shut down. And it'll be interesting to see what happens from there, or how after a $700 million COVID bailout, were they still able to fail and not be up and running now that pandemic is over. It's crazy.
30,000 employees.
Yes.
That's rough.
It is rough. Again, so I mean, we're getting to that point. I don't know if you notice that we're inching towards a tipping point where you're seeing all these strikes and these unions and this argument happen over and over again. Eventually, what you're going to see is all these subgroups that are on their own fighting over here and on their own fighting over there and on their own fighting over here. Eventually, they're all going to just come together, and now you have the entire working class, which is an entire nation, looking upward to the 1%, the non-working class, and say, okay, if you're not going to make change, we'll make change.
Right.
That's how close we are, and that's just an eerie prediction. So happy Monday to you. Yeah. Rise up, people. All right, let's hit that reset. We'll keep the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast. Got your single song takeover coming up next as well. It's Beef Vegan Presents. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing right now. I'm like, am I trying to create a riot in the streets? I don't know. This is what I'm looking at. And I understand that, they're just a society of disenfranchised people, right? And we're amongst them, right? Our industry should be striking as well. That wealth gap has been separating way too far, and it's going to get to the breaking point where shit's going to hit the fan, man. And it's already hitting the fan in certain areas around our country, certain areas around the world. And if we don't figure it out,
I mean, I must say I'm really tired of living through history. Like it's every other day. It's like this major historical moment. I'm like, okay, I'm tired.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's exciting to live through history, you know? I wasn't around for Pearl Harbor, but I was around for 9/11. I mean, that was an exciting, sad, scary day and week. But you remember that? You remember that as it unfolds? And that's historic. And now, like, my daughter doesn't know anything about that, right? So she would never know. And she learns about it in school. And actually, just yesterday, we were watching, or this weekend, we watched Gremlins, right?
Ooh, love that.
Yeah. And then we watched Gremlins 2. Not as good. But in the opening shot, Gremlins 2 is shot in New York. And the opening shot shows the Twin Towers. In fact, actually, every skyline shot, you could see the Twin Towers in there. And we talked about it briefly. And saying, I told her, I was like, like in New York, like the Twin Towers are so massive that you could literally see them from everywhere.
Right.
And so this is why there it is right there. There it is again. But she wasn't around for that history, which is a trip to think about.
Oh, yeah. Especially when it was the 20th anniversary. My now 17-year-old, he was also a sophomore. I was a sophomore when it happened. And like that was like a whole discussion of like, oh no, I watched the second plane hit live. Like that was awful. My brother called. He was at work. He's like, "You got to turn on the news. Wake up, mom. Something's going down." And right as I turned it on, went right into the building.
Everyone saw the second one hit live. Because everyone was glued to the TV after news of the first one hit. And those calls went around. I remember let's save our memories of that to 9/11. Earlier this morning,
Monday.
yes. Well, let's get silly again.
I
Earlier,
just wanted to talk about camping.
I know, which we're going to talk about right after this. Earlier this morning, we got weird with Weirdo. In case you missed it, went a little something like this. Check it out. Weirdo, what's some weird news that you came across this morning, Weirdo?
I was kind of looking at, because I'm thinking about getting an emotional support animal or getting one trained.
Don't be
getting
one of those people. I went to Target and I saw a bunch of people with emotional support animals. They're everywhere.
Like what kind of animals though? Like dog?
Normally
cat?
dogs.
Okay.
Yeah, normally.
Right.
But you could get any kind of emotional support animal, right? Like emotional support ferrets, emotional support snakes, which terrifies other people. So if that's what supports you emotionally, then more power to you, I guess.
Yeah, keep people away from me. But what about an emotional support emu? Those big dinosaur birds.
That's ridiculous. There isn't more of an a-hole in the animal kingdom than the emu. Like everyone knows they are vicious. They are like dinosaurs. They're like raptors, man.
Right. But a man in Virginia is fighting in a court battle to keep his emotional support emu named Nimbus.
No way.
Yeah.
Are you saying he's trying to take him inside McDonald's and things because he can't deal with society? Because enough is enough at some point, right?
Well, this guy Nicholas, his friend was like, he was going through a bunch of mental health stuff, and his friend's like, "Here, get this emu egg," and it hatched.
Okay.
So he has raised this Nimbus since birth.
Okay.
And it's just his buddy, and neighbors complain because he's like, "There's livestock on this dude's property. What the hell?" So they took him to court, and he did win.
Oh.
Yeah, but he had to take the bird to a friend's sanctuary in the meantime while everything settles.
Yeah.
So he still doesn't have Nimbus.
I imagine he lives in a house though and has a backyard though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so with the neighbors complaining, I'm on his side then because the neighbors shouldn't complain on this. It's just one emu in the backyard. I mean, yeah, if it like bites at you, that's a pain in the ass, but it's on this dude's property and make those fences tall enough, it should be fine.
Right. Yeah, but the weird part about this is that the emu has fallen in love while on the sanctuary.
Oh no.
Yeah. So now he has to fight the friend to get Nimbus back.
Yeah, no, man. You know what? You're not a good emu mom, apparently, dude. Because you raised this emu since a baby, which is great. Then you got reintroduced into the wild. Now the emu wants to bang, and you want to try to take it back and try to C-block your emu?
Yeah.
That's not cool. Let that emo live a happy life if you truly love it.
Yeah.
Look at me talking like he's listening.
But he's lonely. He wants his buddy back.
Well, that's maybe he should take a note from the emu and go out and find a girlfriend.
That is true. Okay,
yeah,
I'll give you that.
Yeah, so even the emu's like, this is what you should do, bro. All right, what else you got going on in the world of weird?
Well, speaking of finding girlfriends, this guy found one that loves spicy food and making out.
Okay, yeah. Well,
yes.
She's probably from Tucson then, because isn't that the way?
Actually, they're in Canada because apparently nothing else is going on. But this couple has set the Guinness World Record holders for being able to lock lips for the longest time with ghost peppers in their mouth.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 15
Okay.
minutes, 6.5 seconds.
That's pretty impressive, but I would be more impressed if both of them had mouth herpes. Now, if you could do it for 15 minutes with open mouth herpes and those peppers, yeah, then there isn't a pain in this planet that could bring you down. Yeah, well, hey.
No, like I get sad when like I'm cooking and then I accidentally put my finger in my mouth after using peppers. It's like, no, I didn't want it straight like that. No.
Yeah, if you think that's bad, you should see where it like progressed to, because 15 minutes of making out usually leads to the next step. And if you have
oh god,
pepper pants,
nobody needs that.
That's a quick trip to the ICU. All right.
Yeah. I mean, I like making out, not that much.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent job. And weird news, weirdo. We're gonna hit the reset. When we come back, we're gonna give you the song that you're listening for the signature heating and cooling summer of fun promotion that we have going on this week. Plus, we'll give you an opportunity to win tickets for Drowning Pool and Saliva. All that more coming up next in BVP Presents. So keep it right here. It's Rock 102.1. What were you saying? What were you guys saying? What are you saying? All right.
The children are just little blessings from God.
We're playing Held Out Passion Statement right now.
To be on top, just know my safe word is
don't stop. Jackie.
That is
my safe
fantastic.
word is don't stop. What's great about when they do this song live is people just start chanting right away, like rah, like at the beginning here. So yeah, Held Out's going to be headlining a part of the Local Love Show August 11th this Saturday at the Rialto Theater.
Next Saturday.
Next Saturday?
Next Saturday. It's not even August yet.
Fuck, dude. I was hoping it was this Saturday.
Yeah, next Saturday.
What do they got going on this Saturday? Well, Ricky Ratman, I guess. Let's see where we're at.
It's next Friday.
Oh, it's next Friday?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
A calendar is this man's greatest foe.
I know. Well, I'll mention that on the air just so people don't show up for Rialto. And on August 5th, which is Saturday, August 11th is Friday. Okay.
Whoa, my niece just sent me the video from Friday in our backyard, and it's just sideways.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. When I had, and I have video, I guess I could show, but I mean, we don't want to geek out too much on weather, but I swear I was sitting on the couch and I thought someone was knocking on my door.
Yeah,
and I'm like, what the hell is that? And sure enough, it was the hail coming in sideways. And I actually did post 2 pictures on my stories, and I'll show you one where the hail actually built up on my doorstep.
Oh yeah,
that's what she just
like inches
said.
of it.
She's like, it's July.
Yes, it is odd. Look at this. This is how much hail in a short amount of time that was just right on my door. And I'll show you guys. You guys probably saw this, but
yeah. That's crazy. And I mean, when we were camping, we got a little bit of hail, but it was very tiny. And she's like, no, it was quarter size.
Yeah, quarter size hail. It messed people up. I thought my daughter was on the road. I was like, if you're driving right now or in a car, pull over right now. Rock 102.1 KFMA. That was Held Out right here on our single song takeover. Held Out, like I mentioned before, is headlining at the Rialto Theater, but in typical Beef Vegan fashion, I like to go third person when I point out my mistakes. I was wrong about their date. Now, August 11th is the day that they are headlining the Rialto. Not this Saturday. No. It's going to be on a Friday. Not this Friday. No. It's going to be Friday, August 11th. So not this weekend, but next weekend. Held Out headlines with a stacked lineup of great local bands. So if you're looking to entertain yourself and rock local at a low price, Local Love presents Held Out and the rest at the Rialto on August 11th. We got your Would You Rathers with Mari coming up here next. You got a bonus Would You Rather you want to give us real quick here, Mari?
Sure.
These are always difficult hypotheticals. Now, you know the drill, weirdo. You have to answer it and you have to tell us why. Okay. So what do you got?
All right. Would you rather drink a pint of stag semen beer or a glass of baby mice wine? Both ingredients are legit, and these drinks really do exist.
Wow.
What?
Yeah. Stag semen beer is a real product. Yeah, it tastes like a super pale ale. And then the other is a baby mouse blood deal.
I don't know, just baby mice wine. It's a bunch of baby mice in a wine bottle in China.
I would assume that most white wine has a little bit of baby mouse in it. They stomp on grapes. You don't know, know, over in France, what kind of mice get into the batch. So I would go with the wine, 100%. For sure, because I know that if I drank the stag beer, I would keep spitting it out because I don't swallow. Weirdo?
I'm gonna go with the stag beer.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, you
Because
would.
you know why.
That's right. You're an all-star. All right. The rest of your Would You Rather is coming up at the Queens of the Stone Age, or you can join the conversation. YouTube.com/BeFegan. It's a podcast broadcast. Claire. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Joe. You didn't get no rain or hail. Well, that means your shit did not break.
Right.
My screen on my window, that's completely demolished. I have to call my landlord and be like, you need to replace the screen.
Yeah, our front metal door like swung open and shattered one of we're in the garden district, so we have a bunch of plants in our yard, just shattered one of the terracotta pots.
I'm in the same district as well. You know, you're talking about the garden district, which just basically means you got trees in the middle of the fucking road that you have to avoid.
Oh my God.
Those
so
things,
annoying.
Yeah, those things will blow over during crazy storms. All right, let's go to the phone real quick. Somebody's calling. Rock 1 2.1. Who's this?
This is Floyd the Butcher.
Oh, what's up, Floyd?
Hey, so I wanted to make a comment on that last Would You Rather. I've actually drinking a liquor that had a poisonous snake in it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What was the name of the liquor?
I have no idea. It was brought in from another country, and it was totally illegal to have, but we drank it, and it was actually really good.
Oh, I bet you it was. Hell yeah, it's going to be, really good. A poisonous snake inside the liquor, was it 80 proof or was it stronger?
It was 80 proof, yeah.
Nice. Did it make
But it was like really smooth.
Is it Cobra whiskey? That's what Manny on the stream is saying.
No, it wasn't a Cobra whiskey. It was from another country.
Habushu? It's an Okinawan rice
It
liquor.
could have been something like that.
It comes with a pit viper coiled at the bottom of the bottle.
Oh.
Yep, that's it right there.
Holy
There you
shit,
go.
that sounds hardcore. That's got to be a badass looking bottle though, huh?
Dude, it was like the coolest looking thing. You just look and you see this snake just curled up in the bottom of it. You're like, should I drink it or shouldn't I?
I'm looking at the photo of it now. That's terrifying. It's like mouth is open with its fangs.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome. Did it make you hallucinate like absinthe? Right? Because I would imagine there's a little bit of venom in there. There's got to be an added perk beyond just getting an alcohol.
Yeah.
Buzz, you know?
I mean, it was a different type of buzz, but, once you black out, it doesn't matter after that.
That's true. That's very true. That's awesome. Well, I'm glad that you tried that. And yeah, I guess it's something that we can only try in Japan. So next time you're in Japan there, Mari, smuggle some back.
Hold on. Wait. It says it has the whole selling point of this. It's a libido boosting.
Yeah,
so,
of course.
Sounds about right if it came out of Japan.
Everything is libido boosting there, yeah.
I was about to say, you might have blacked out, but you had a fantastic time.
Yeah,
that is funny. Yeah, they're the horniest country, so for sure. Now we know why.
Exactly.
Well, thanks, Floyd. I appreciate that heads up, and that's sick. I'm glad you survived drinking that sake. So it doesn't sound like it's 80 proof though. If it's sake,
I'm not.
I don't know, but I remember it was extremely smooth going down though. So it could have been a wine. I can't remember. This was like 20 years ago.
That's awesome. Yeah, well, Mari goes to Japan like once every 2 years, so now we know what to put on her shopping list.
I will.
Gotta bring some of that back.
That's right. Appreciate the call, brother. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, later.
Peace. Floyd the Butcher, everybody. So yeah, I'll try to pull. What's the name of it again?
Habushu.
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 Habushu. Let's see. I'm searching X right now. Oh, there it is. Oh shit. I want to just try to. Oh, well, here's somebody who tried to make it homemade. Ugh.
Go get a rattler.
Get a shaky danger noodle.
Look at that. That's the homemade version of it.
Oh wow. That jug is like a tea jug, or something.
Right?
Yeah, just some poisonous sake. Welcome back to BVP Presents podcast broadcast. On the stream, we're talking to Floyd the Butcher, who's telling us about a crazy alcohol that he drank of an actual like venomous snake that's coiled up at the bottom of this bottle. And this was, of course, to add on to the Would You Rather that we had before Queens of the Stone Age. What was the name of that again? It's a sake?
Habushu.
Habushu. You got it. Your homework today, guys, is to Google Habushu and then check out the images of this. Apparently, it's illegal here in the United States, but it's a delicacy that will get you wasted if not killed, over in Japan. And it's a libido booster. So, yeah,
Wow. What men will do. What men will do.
I know. Be like, hey, if you like that venomous snake, why don't you try this one? Huh? All right, back to Would You Rathers here because we got Mari. So she gives us the hardcore hypotheticals that we have to answer. What's our next hypothetical situation, Mari?
Okay, would you rather have a 16-pound bowling ball, the heaviest ball you can use in bowling, dropped on your foot, or have it stomped on by a 20-inch heel?
Have the ball stomped on by
No. Did I say stomped on? Dropped on your foot, or have your foot stomped on by a 20-inch heel?
Ooh, okay, a 20-inch heel. I don't know if
That's the tallest one I read.
Yes, and you're absolutely right. But I think a 6-inch heel, a 20-inch heel, it really depends on the person stomping of how much that's going to hurt.
Okay, it's a really, really strong stomper.
Yeah.
Okay.
Super strong stomper, like the strongest of stompers.
I would have to go with the heel. I would go with the heel because yes, my foot's gonna break either way, right? But with the heel, it's gonna break maybe a bone or two bones. With the bowling ball, it's gonna break all my toes at once.
Yeah, but I'm thinking like puncture wound and then bleeding out. Like I don't want to do that.
Okay, so what are you saying?
I'm gonna say bowling ball.
Just because you're afraid of the puncture wound. Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty good. All right. Let's see. Todd says basically, do you want your foot smashed or pierced? Okay.
Basically.
I don't know if it's going to be a sharp 20-inch heel. It's hard. It's weird saying heel right now. But did you look at pictures of 20-inch heels? What do they even look like?
I just typed in like the tallest heel.
Okay.
That's what I got.
It's freaky. Somewhere out there, I have a listener being like, yeah, I wish they would smash my groin with that. All right, give me another would you rather.
Okay, would you rather pry your thumbnail off with a rusty fork or put a sharp toothpick under your big toenail and kick a brick wall?
Yeah, she's...
God, these are awful.
I know. She's sadistic. This is what Mari thinks of in her spare time. Brutal. Don't ever piss her off. So, okay.
What's the first option?
First one is
pry your thumbnail off with a rusty fork.
Yeah. Which I would do over the toothpick underneath my big toenail and then kicking that. That's so excruciating. That's some torture methods that I'm sure the CIA is well familiar with. But the thumbnail is something I could kind of look and just kind of grit my teeth.
Oh, it takes so long though, right? Like
it takes so long to grow back. But I'm actually looking at my finger. I smashed my finger with a hammer last week. It's bruised. I'm gonna lose this nail. Like I can already feel that it's starting to separate.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That's gross.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's right. You're not necessarily a hand model. Good thing you got that CrossFit body going for you. So, all right, give me one more. Would you rather here, Mari?
Okay, in the same vein of pain, would you rather use sandpaper for toilet paper, or use hot sauce as eye drops?
Oh, sandpaper.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, I don't like things in my eyes.
I've made the mistake of cutting jalapenos before and rubbing my eye, and yeah, that's excruciating pain.
Yeah, but straight up hot sauce is like full eye drops.
Oh, but that sandpaper on your butt.
Yeah, well,
just wipe once.
I would say
do a half-assed job, and then you're done.
That makes me question your bathroom habits. Because she went number 2 this morning during a song. It was a super short song, and she was back before it was halfway done. And I'm like, did you even wipe? Yeah. You just squat and plop. I would go with the sandpaper because when you have hemorrhoids, everything feels like sandpaper anyways. All right, Claire. I like saying things that will guarantee I won't get laid. That was your would you rathers from this morning. We had a really good round of F My Life, and Bam actually called in to join in and add to the F My Life, and it was a pretty intriguing F My Life situation. I want to know your opinion if Bam's life was effed or he's being a big baby from this morning's version of F My Life. In case you missed it, went a little something like this. Check it out.
Did you get caught self-loving by your mom?
Awkward.
It is awkward. Did you do something that got you fired from your job?
I just get stupid. It's fun being stupid.
Don't hide this in vain. Let us laugh at your pain. Call 600-KFMA right away.
I promise we won't embarrass you.
Because Beef Vegan presents F My Life. F My Life. F My Life.
Yes, it's time for another edition of Your F My Life. These are unfortunate situations. Email to me at beefegantkfma.com, subject line FML. But of course, if you have an F My Life you care to share on the air, it's Monday after all. It's been a long weekend. So feel free to do so. 600-KFMA, 600-5362. If Weirdo and I agree your life is effed, we'll hook you up with tickets to see Ricky Ratman live at the Rialto Theater for his one-man show as he tells you all the exploits he witnessed firsthand during the 80s and 90s and the rise and fall of the hair metal era. And, of course, MTV's Headbanger Ball, just to name a few. Yeah. It's August 8th that Ricky's going to be performing at the Rialto. So let's get right into your F My Lives. You ready, Weirdo?
I am.
Okay. Nico sent me this first email. He said, today my wife and I have been trying for kids for years and nothing. Yet, my deadbeat brother just ran out on his third pregnant girlfriend in a row with no intention of meeting the baby ever.
Wow.
Yeah, that's rough.
Wow.
F My Life for Nico.
Yeah. To just watch that over and over again, being like, that's what we want,
yeah,
and we can't have it. God.
I know. Well, you know what? Keep trying there, Nico, and keep switching up the diet and like put a fan on your boys. You know, there's lots of different ways, but it's very idiocracy, right? It's like dumb people just keep breeding easily because they just keep effing. Meanwhile, like Nico and his wife are trying to responsibly have a kid. All those challenges. It sucks, but you know, keep trying. That's the fun part too.
It is.
Yeah. Did you try doggy? I would just say that. You know, that usually works for me. All right. Next email sent to me by Amber. She said, I was telling my teenage daughter about the effects of alcohol on the weekend, and she should not give in to peer pressure. Now, while talking, I noticed that she was looking at me funny. That's because there was a wine glass in my hand. I do as I say and not as I do. All right. So F My Life, what do you say, weirdo?
Big baby, she was drinking. That's fine.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be better if it was like a Tuesday and you're saying, yeah, you shouldn't give in to peer pressure. It's like me. No one told me to drink. I told myself. The peers inside my mind told me to do so. All right, next email sent to me by Sophia. She said, today in an attempt to have a relaxing self-care evening, I ran a bath, threw in some bath salts, then put my face mask on and hopped on in. After about 7 minutes of relaxing, my back started burning. So I got out only to discover that the bath salts had given me a rash.
Oh, no.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Has this ever happened to you?
It has.
It happens, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I have to be very careful not to have menthol in any kind of bath salts or soak or anything because I will be on fire.
Oh, so you can't buy any Newport bath salts. I see that. All right. So, yeah, F your life, Sophia. All right, 2 more left. Trevor sent me this email, beefegantkfma.com. He said, yesterday I went to the dentist and no one's in the waiting room, so I danced around and mouthed songs that were on the radio. It wasn't until after I went to the counter that I saw the receptionist laughing like a pack of hyenas that I realized that there was a camera. Wonder how long you were dancing for.
He was just following the dance like no one's watching. Oh, they were watching and judging and laughing.
They were watching. All right, somebody's calling real quick. Let's see what we got here on the KFMA hotline. Rock 102.1, who's this?
What's up? This is Bam.
Hey, Dan, you got an F My Life for us?
No, Bam. Yeah. So, I've been having like a hard time with, with life and stuff, whatever. But I managed to get myself like out of like a almost complete homelessness, and I landed a job for $27.75 an hour.
Nice.
And I was doing so well at the job that someone they gave me an award like $200, and so I decided to go get a hotel room with that money, and have a good time with my girlfriend. And I ended up getting fired because I was late for 2 days in a row. So I was sleeping so good in the damn bed.
Oh, yeah, but Bam, you had this, man. You had the job and everything was good, and you got the hotel room, and then you I get it, man. I guess if you're like, you don't have a good area to bang for a while, and then you get that kind of, it's like Disneyland. You never want to leave.
I was sleeping so well. I was like, I was late 2 days in a row, and they fired me, dude. So I was like, oh my God, dude, I can't believe it. They gave me a $200 check for like doing like well, for doing outstanding work,
Yeah, and then they even gave you
go
a
enjoy it, and I was like, okay.
Well, yeah, it's their fault. They told you to enjoy it.
Right.
I mean, he obviously enjoyed it.
Mhm.
Yeah. So she banged you into a coma and you lost your job. Is that enough of my life
Right.
for Bam there, weirdo?
Yeah,
I had fun though. I had fun.
I think that's enough of my life, buddy. Sorry.
That's 100% enough of my life. Keep looking for another job. Hopefully you get one here soon, Bam. That's rough. Why don't you stay on the line? If you're not doing anything and you want your girlfriend to bang you in a coma again, you should take her to this Ricky show at the Rialto Theater on the 8th. You want to go?
Man. Yeah, it'd be fun. That'd be awesome. I'd love that.
All right, cool. Stay on the line. We can get your info here. No worries. And then final F My Life email I got to share with you here real quick, weirdo. And this will make Bam's life not so bad, right? Andy sent me this. He said, I once took my girlfriend to see my favorite band live. And afterwards, we were lucky enough to run into the lead guitarist who promptly asked her if she'd like to go back to his hotel room. She accepted.
Oh,
yeah.
Right in front of you.
F My Life, what do you say?
Give her the hall pass. You'll be all right.
Absolutely not. F My Life, F My Life, F My Life. All right, there you go. That was a little animated this morning. Did a lot of screaming. When in doubt, just scream out. That's how you do that. Let me show you. I mean, everyone, every now and then somebody has a bad day. I guarantee your day wasn't as bad as this dude's. This was posted by What's Up Tucson, if you could tell this. He got hit by a car and then just stayed there, right? So there's people like, hey, it's hot, man. You want to get off the car? He's like, I can't move. Now, he only sustained minor injuries. That's the only reason why I'm showing you this. But this is, imagine getting hit by a car so much that you become like the new hood ornament.
Like, this is a good place for a nap.
Yeah. So I saw that. That was a beef retweet. There was a couple things that was pretty fond of sharing on the Twitter page beyond just the actual stream that is posted there regularly. All right, we got a couple things that we're going to be talking about here soon, but there was a disgraced Wisconsin prosecutor named Daniel Steffen who recorded himself having sex with 3 women at the same time.
Whoa.
Right?
Okay.
Actually, no, individually, including one he was prosecuting. But he's our creep of the week because he would do this and then look at the camera and wink at the secret camera. Yeah, and he's the only one watching it, so he's literally winking at himself while secretly filming himself have sex with people who are probably like prostitutes. I mean, people are prosecuting. This is how people would like get off on lesser charges, literally. But we can't talk about that on the air, so that's a strictly stream thing. See what I did there. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. Let me break down this list. This will actually kind of help people out more so. And then I wanted to share this with you guys, Mari and Weirdo, because being women, I think you could agree or disagree with this information I'm about to share. These are the reasons why she stopped having sex with you. And I think most men who've been in relationships have been in a scenario where they're just not having sex anymore. And there are reasons why she is stopping having sex with you. And they're not all bad, but they're not all great. Okay. So the first one on this list, this is the TMI top 5 reasons why she stopped having sex with you. And legit, they're not jokes. I mean, I'll tell you the legit reason and then I'll joke about it. Okay. All right. So the number 1 reason is stress. Okay. So it's the number 1 libido killer, whether it's due to work, school, finances. Yeah. You've been stress-free, huh? Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you do have 2 kids, so that stresses you out.
I find sex as a stress relief.
It is.
I try to say that too. Like, hey, you're stressed. This is a stress relief. And honestly,
it has been proven.
The cliche of saying, I don't want to have sex right now. I have a headache, right? Can commonly be like, you could actually solve that 2 problems in one because sex relieves headaches too. Scientifically proven. And I've tried to prove that as well and try to stress that as much as possible. But again, it's a moot point. But yeah, I mean, for most women, they say stress is a libido killer. As much as you like to get it on and focus on the positive while you're stressed out, most people kind of shut down. So they say sit down and talk about what's going on, and this will help you lessen the load, so to speak, and figure out how to make intimacy a priority as it should be.
Well, and that act in itself is intimate, right? Like like coming together, being able to get things out of your head and get some validation, and like it's gonna be okay. Like there is something intimate with that as well.
Yeah. Now I say the key to all these that I'm going to share with you, the takeaway is communication, right? To kind of get to that point. But I'll tell you what. I was in a relationship recently where things broke down and I tried to make a communication a key and that still didn't work. So, here's number 2, taken for granted. All right. So when you first got together, you made like an effort to get into the pants. And then over time, that effort dissipates because you're just like, it's an expectation.
Right.
Like, hey, instead of taking you out to a nice dinner, why waste that money when the end result's sex anyways? And we already do it. Right.
Yes. Still feeling like you're being pursued is a very nice feeling.
Yeah. I've made this mistake time and time again for sure.
Right.
So keep that in mind. You got to put in effort.
Mental
whatever.
note.
Yeah. All right. Number 3, no communication whatsoever. So as far as communication is talked about, there sure seems to be a lack of it. So you got to talk about what's going on and what's not going on to get her back on the same page.
Yeah. This is something for me that is definitely a turn off. Like you've got to communicate.
Right.
Yeah.
With all of them at once. I mean, you're poly, so I mean,
Right.
That seems like, if 3 people are talking at the same time, can you hear any of them?
Okay.
Wow.
But with my family situation with our polycule or whatever, like we can tell when things are way more tense. It's like, man, we haven't like sat down to talk the 4 of us together and it affects the individual relationships.
Yeah.
So
that's complicated. I mean, it's complicated with just 2 people.
Yeah.
So I see it. All right. The number 4 reason why she stopped having sex with you, the kind of sex she wants. All right. So what you see in porn isn't real life. We got to remind ourselves on a regular basis. Even though I do Google real life porn. So stop doing what it seems like she would like based off what you see in movies and figure out what really gets her going.
Yes.
Right. So if you do that, it's guaranteed that your batting average will improve.
yeah, looking for those body signals, the audio signals, you just actually look at her while you're doing things, maybe.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you got to look away so you don't end it too soon. You know what I mean? So it's that eye contact that's killer. I'm telling you. All right. And the number 5 reason why she stopped having sex with you is boredom. All right. So if you do the same thing over and over again, Mr. Vanilla Stroke, it's going to become boring and that's not going to get her in the mood. So variety is key. So they say go on a sex toy shopping spree, going from section to section, discussing what you'd be into, what your boundaries are. You could always use a held out safe word, which is don't stop. And then ask her what kind of fetish porn she's curious about. Now, if she says no, she's not into any of that stuff, well, then just have fun doing missionary because you married a square. Right. We're going to hit the reset on the FM side. Keep the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast and be back with your beef tip after these words. Clear. All right. So get your massage gaming gear. All these massages. I don't even know how many times it's such a stereotypical thing for a guy to have to give a massage to get sex in return.
Ooh, it
when
works,
you're in a
though.
relationship. It does.
Kenzo's been doing some foot massages nightly, and it is
nice. You're getting that nightly, huh? Well, good for
I'm
Kenzo. Good for
spoiled.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, but I've been in that situation where like I got a nice back massage. I'm like, and then they're like, no, I'm tired. I'm like, what the hell? This massage was not worth it. And I was the recipient of said massage.
Yeah, so I put too much effort into
know.
massage. If you make me do hard labor before we get into everything else, I'm like, theoretically blew my load. But yeah, I mean, it almost feels like blackmail sometimes, like in a relationship. And then I'm thinking of prior bad relationships, I would guess. But, it's like, yeah, well, I'll let you put your dick in me if you give me this $300 service that I would pay for. I'm like, this is legit. Your hands cramping. You end up looking like this. And
yeah, I don't like playing the transactional game when it comes to that. Like I'm doing this, therefore I get this, or you're doing this, so therefore you're expecting this. Like I don't like doing transactional stuff.
Right, because it does take the fun away from out of it for a man too. Because obviously, being visual creatures ourselves, I enjoy the massage aspect. I enjoy giving like pleasure and like feeling around and looking and just staring like a creep. But don't make it like a job or a chore.
Right.
I don't enjoy chores, and I don't enjoy actual jobs. So, that's my argument, and I'm sticking to it. So. Yeah, but that's good for you with your foot massages all the time. Yeah, yes. It gave you 2 sons. And Mari has this theory, which is absurd, but I love it. Her theory is that if you orgasm during sex and you end up getting pregnant, you're going to have a boy.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. And I have a daughter, so I'm like, fuck you, Mari.
You weren't a giver.
Yeah, what? Well, no. I mean, I do recall
In that moment.
in
You
that
are a
moment.
giver.
No, in that moment I was not a giver.
Yeah.
And it's
out.
very odd because I do recall in great detail the 3 minutes of sex that created my daughter, right? When we conceived her. I know exactly where I was. I mean, I know what time of day it was, all that. Very odd, right? I remember how bad her armpits smelled. And then
specific.
And then what's crazy about that is my daughter's armpits, like her armpit BO is like onions. It's so weird that her armpits like would smell like that. She needs deodorant big time, but she would have smelly armpits as a fucking toddler. She hates that I even would say this, but this is the truth. So I wonder, since she was conceived during a time of, we just went on a road trip from Phoenix to Vegas, right? And then her mom had smelly pits and I could smell it while I was, essentially letting my seed loose.
Well, I mean, they say that that's like the biggest like connector for memories is smell.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense that you would remember.
Yeah, but then I inadvertently like passed on that smelly armpit gene to my daughter by getting a big whiff in as I was orgasming.
Yeah, just because you whipped it. That's the only reason.
It changed your DNA.
Something like that. I mean, it is odd.
So every time you smell your daughter's armpits or BO, you're like having flashbacks.
I mean, luckily she's a teenage girl now who takes care of herself. So I haven't smelled that smell. It's very distinctive. But I remember, as a baby, and to have a baby smell like BO is a very odd thing to begin with. But then to have that associated with conceiving her and that memory is odd too. And true though. 100% true. Yeah, I know. She didn't know. Not yet. And luckily she won't watch this podcast, but and Rick's like, and you call me creepy. That's fair, Rick. That is fair.
Funny.
Yeah. All right,
Oh my God.
Yeah, this show flies by way too fast.
Mhm.
But tomorrow you're hanging out with us again here, Mari?
Mhm.
Good.
Yeah.
And then we'll have Shane from Tucson Foodie, so it'll be fun. A little Tuesday show, and Rico's 5-star and everything else. So we got that to look forward to this week. We're gearing up for a bunch of cool stuff. I was gonna start this week this Rustics Beef's Beard Envy promotion, and I'm looking at you, Manny, but this is for our bearded listeners out there who have that like manly beard, super long beard. We're gonna do a beard competition that Rustics is sponsoring. It's a barbershop that's in Tucson Mall. Fantastic setup they have there, by the way. And we're going to be doing giveaways and everything else. And the way that you're going to qualify is submitting pictures to kfma.com, and then we're going to ask you to come in to be a part of the show, where we're going to do somewhat of like a beard Olympics. And with that, there'll be a series of ways that we're going to judge your beard by doing both, just observational judging and also stunt judging, meaning that you're going to have to do things with your beard to show that you have the biggest, baddest beard in all of Tucson. Now, that was going to start today, but I was on vacation and our sales manager was out with the injury. So the training wasn't top notch. So essentially they weren't ready for it. Like, because when we do these kind of contests, Mucho has to come up with a bunch of different guidelines to submit to legal, and then legal has to approve it. It's a whole thing, which is a pain in the ass. We can't just flip things. So it's probably going to be in a week or two. But it's going to be fun, and it's going to be fun for you guys watching the stream as well, because some of the things that we're going to have our bearded contestants do, like I'll give you one example. I'll give you two. One is like lifting weights with those Viking beards. You beard it, and then you kind of lift weights on that. The other is what I'm calling the beaker challenge, which I think is really good. And we're going to post a bunch of pictures of that, where we put googly eyes on her neck and have them look straight up and give that Don King kind of look.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which would be fantastic. And those pictures, a lot of people are going to like those, So that and so much more, that's going to be, again, in a couple weeks. So we'll let you know. All right, we're back on the air. And unfortunately, we ran out of time, as we do each and every day around 10 a.m. Does suck. But we learned a lot. We laughed a lot. We loved a lot. Yeah.
Jesus.
I told you I turned into a full-blown basic bitch this weekend because of my shopping spree at Home Goods. I can't help it.
I'm going to buy you a live life love sign. God, I can't even say it.
I honestly was going to buy one, but it wasn't 50% off. So instead, I got that giant bull portrait put it over my head. And now I'm getting comments on Facebook being like, oh, that must mean something. Unfortunately, it means disappointment because there's no way I'm going to be able to live up to that. So,
what would have happened if it was a picture of a crab?
Don't. I mean, that's more accurate, to be honest with you. But there's a shampoo that could deal with that, so we're all good.
Is that the beef tip of the day?
That
Get
is the
yourself
beef
some
tip.
shampoo.
Yeah. Save your money. Don't get the shampoo. Just shave your balls. You're all good.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. If it doesn't have anything to cling on, then you don't have them anymore.
True.
Yeah. There's your beef tip. Thank you guys so much for listening to the show. If you don't know what we're talking about as far as my poor home decor choices, you could follow me at Beef Vegan on Instagram or on Facebook. While you're there, follow Weirdo as well. Weirdo KFMA. Weirdo_KFMA. Robin Nash is up next. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for listening to the show. Drive safe, ride safe, and as always, rock local. Later. And thank you, Mari, as always.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow.
a side of beef, soon will come.
Enjoy my bath salts.
But if you've been mean or kind of bad, I will knock out all your teeth.
That was my Saturday, too. I was like, I'm raging today.